That's true. You know, I really want to have a deep conversation about like planets and not Uranus, but
Welcome to the 6th episode of the Copilots podcast. I am Topias and I am here with...
Vishwa. Hi, this is Vishwa.
Yeah. Today I think we're going to be talking about the life of an aerospace engineering student. Like aerospace engineering, it's quite a difficult subject, and I think that a lot of our viewers might be interested in knowing what the lifestyle, the 9 to 5, the Monday to Friday is actually for somebody that studies aerospace engineering
It
in
certainly
university.
is, but do you know what something else that's more interesting? 70% of you are not subscribed to us. That means you should definitely subscribe, and it helps and show the support. Subscribe. Thank you.
It ain't over until the fat lady sings, and she's now officially sung. But anyway, it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool topic to talk about since we're both indeed aerospace engineers.
Correct.
Interesting.
I think we could maybe do like a chronological breakdown of the study, like obviously not going to go through each and every course that we've done in the bachelor,
yeah,
but still like
summary.
Give people an overall idea of what the whole 3-year bachelor's entails and how much time we've had to allocate towards each subject maybe, and what else we do to sort of not go crazy with the study.
Yeah. But the thing is, TU Delft, so TU Delft is already considered sort of like, whoa, you're studying the hard stuff.
Yeah, by European standards, it is a bit of an elite school,
sure.
I'd say. It's not Oxford, but it's still a good school.
In the Netherlands, it's definitely top tier.
Oh, for sure.
One of the top. And inside TU Delft, you have aerospace, which is also considered as one of the hard studies, or hard bachelors at least, by other faculties.
And the thing is, we aerospace bachelor students, we're never going to let the other students of other subjects forget the fact that we are sort of at the top of the pecking order, the hierarchy.
Exactly.
The thing is,
also literally we are as well.
Bow, bow, bow.
Edit a video of like a F-16 flying over.
F-35, come on, it's 2020, bro.
Sure, both of them at each other.
Oh shit, we can 9/11 that.
No, yes, it is. Well, that's gonna get bleeped out.
Yeah.
He's talking about that lady again. Speaking of aircraft.
Yeah.
Do we actually know how to fly? Because this is one of the questions I think a lot of people thought, or like people think we know aerospace engineers are pilots.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately not.
We don't have a Scooby-Doo of an idea how to actually pilot an aircraft.
we have a little one, but not that big of one.
Yeah, you speak for yourself, Mr. Man, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, but to get serious, like, yeah, it is a very rigorous academic degree, but it is very much theoretical, as in, I'd say like 90% of the content that we get taught is only theoretical.
Yeah.
So it's much more like an actual physics degree rather than like a practical engineer's degree.
Sure, and we get this like aerospace engineering is a bit of like a theoretical engineer almost.
Yeah.
We do have some courses which are more practical than others, and some courses which are hella theoretical. Like it makes us think, why as an engineer are we even learning this kind of stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a bit of a mix of both, I think.
Yeah, and I think like the way TU Delft envisions it is that during the bachelor you are taught a very broad base of all the sort of basic engineering subjects, whereas during your masters you can actually specialize and then also become a bit more of a sort of practical person and professional. But like right now we're just given a very solid foundation of the engineering sciences.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like it is good as in it teaches us to think about engineering problems in a very analytical and systematic way, but at the same time it doesn't actually make us that valuable as engineering professionals.
That's fair. That's a fair take. But I do think it's as a benefit we know very well how to sort of write good engineering literature, I guess. That's one of the things too that focuses a lot on is reporting.
Yeah.
And you have group projects which essentially are synthesizing all the courses that you learn, and they're supposed to teach you how to actually apply these as a team and produce reports and make some analysis on stuff like making a wing, building a fuselage, analyzing aerodynamics of a air body.
Yeah.
Things like this are of course interesting to students, but also very useful in designing an aircraft, which you do learn how to do. And we're very good at designing aircrafts. And after all, I mean, our last thesis is called Design Synthesis Exercise.
Yeah.
We're not manufacturers. We don't
Yeah.
produce stuff, but we design stuff.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah, with the same that, I mean, it makes sense if that's your final goal to produce engineers who design things like this, then fair. But I do agree that definitely if you want to go into more of the practical stuff like production and manufacturing as an engineer, then you will have to do some other additional training.
Yeah, for sure.
But would you say, as a person who has now gone through this degree nearly, would you say this was worth it?
Definitely. I'd say both financially and time-wise speaking. It was like probably the best degree that I could find for myself, at least in this country.
Yeah.
Because it does open a lot of doors, like not only in the world of engineering but just society as a whole. I'd say, once you have the TU Delft on logo on your CV, I think it's hard for an employer to argue against that.
And compared to your expectation, where's the reality?
Yeah,
TU Delft?
I'd say difficulty-wise, it's pretty much a match with what I was expecting.
So if this was the expectation, you're here.
Yeah, at least difficulty-wise.
Okay.
Then experience and perhaps interest-wise, it depends on the courses that. It really depends on the course, because like there were loads of courses that I was really interested in, and some others that I had virtually no interest in.
Which are these courses that you had no interest in? Just curious.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good question. Personally, I don't see myself going into, say, like, structural analysis or something like that.
It's funny you say.
Yeah.
I was doing structural analysis for the last week.
yeah, it's harsh, right?
Yeah, it's harsh.
Yeah, so I'd say, like, most of the sort of more mechanical engineering type things aren't exactly of interest to me. That being said, I'd say, like, I find control, signals, aerodynamics quite interesting. And I also like the very broad sort of mathematical basis that we're taught here at TU Delft, because like I think like 1/5 of our entire degree is just pure math.
Yeah.
And that's something I highly appreciate, because it's very applicable to literally all kinds of engineering and other sorts of, I guess, industries as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're heavily taught calculus, differential equations.
Yeah, linear algebra.
Yeah, linear algebra.
Statistics, probability, some applied numerical methods, stuff like that.
Yeah, applied numerical methods.
Yeah.
That one is interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the applied numerical is actually, so for context, applied numerical is basically like, in a way, trying to, when you have a difficult problem, like sometimes you have really difficult equations to solve with a lot of variables or a lot of fifth, seventh degree polynomials. These hard equations are hard to solve like analytically. So you have this course which taught us how to use basically Python and some kind of numerical analysis to solve for X, pretty much.
Exactly.
And it does it quite well.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the type of course where like you are taught this theory which only really makes sense once you put it into practice in a project or in a Python script, I'd say.
Yeah.
And that's maybe applicable to more than just that course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you rate though? Because in engineering, a lot of people are taught about coding and quite hard on coding, especially computer scientists, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Even in, I think, mechanical, they're taught a lot of Python and other kinds of
maybe
things.
Yeah, probably.
But how would you rate the sort of level of coding or programming that we were taught?
Yeah, like the thing is, we're not given that many like different coding courses during the bachelor's, so it's a lot of like just, I guess, learning as you go.
Yeah.
We do get a Python course in the first year, and then we do a bit of, I guess, extra programming in say systems and control during the second year.
Sure.
But for the most part, it is very sort of rudimentary, crunching the numbers, sort of procedural, functional programming.
Yeah.
And I think like most modern industry, including aerospace, it will actually require more sort of fundamental understanding of programming, which we aren't taught, at least during the bachelor's. But I wouldn't necessarily use that as a criticism against the way that TU Delft has decided to organize it here.
Mhm.
Yeah. How about you? Since you're doing the design synthesis exercise, you might have maybe even a more refined input on this matter.
Yeah, I have a funny story to tell you actually with regards to Python and all these software that you have. Like, there's so many like complicated programming languages and stuff. So when I was in Enoch in Toulouse, I was there and I was learning this course called I think Airport Development and Planning. And in this course, it was pretty cool. We had this guy coming over from Vinci Airports, who was Vinci Airports is this like they're airport operators. Also development a bit, and they operate a lot of the I've seen gas stations along highways in Europe, which is really interesting. But okay, this guy came in and he was telling us how to use Excel. And one of the things he told us was, guys, you need to learn how to use Excel. A lot of you engineers come with your CVs with Python, this programming language, that MATLAB, Java, C++, and you can't do Excel. And a lot of these companies can't afford to have Python and PyCharm and all these things.
Python probably, PyCharm maybe not. But
sure, or MATLAB.
MATLAB, exactly.
But everyone can afford Excel. So a lot of these companies that you go to will have Excel. So you need to learn how to start with the basics and learn that. So
that's really true. And I also work in this AI firm. Like my role itself, it has no software engineering whatsoever. So I use way more Excel than I use Python.
Exactly.
But like the thing is, oftentimes you have these C-suite employees that don't really know actual programming, and therefore Excel is the only way to go.
Yeah, that's true. But Excel is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like the more we've learned, pretty much in DSE as well. Like so, we've been using a lot of Python. But Excel is not bad. Like I know there's some things you just cannot achieve with Excel in terms of the speed of Python and stuff, and having a lot of files. So Python is still better for these big projects like the DSE project I'm doing, but Excel is still like unmatched for the level of simplicity and the things you can do with it. And
for sure,
it's like it's good. Like, why fix when it's not broken, you know? And
exactly.
In DSE, I would say we do struggle with some things with the stuff we're taught in Python. So one of the things is object-oriented programming, which is quite useful for some things. We don't have to get into that, but that's something really useful for when you're coding with a lot of parameters as a big 10 people group. And especially with a lot more as time goes on. Luckily, we have some people who did computer science as their minor, so they knew like how to use JSON and things like this, which are another like feature that we're not taught how to use, but it's very useful, especially when you have to do these large iterations. And these iterations is everywhere. Like, not only in aerospace, I think, but like a lot of times you need to get something, to get an intermediate value, you need to know the final value to get an estimate of this.
You gotta start somewhere, and then you gotta start iterating based on that.
Exactly.
It's like iteration. I think that's like one of the fundamental ideas of the entire aerospace bachelor. And like as they say during the first day, like everything in aircraft design is a snowball effect. And I think it just goes to show that iteration, you can't do it enough.
They do say that, but I've never seen a snowball yet.
Neither.
It's like they almost lie to us, you know?
Maybe they do. They get paid to do that, so you can't blame them. Let's talk a bit about how we take breaks from studying. First of all, what our study I want to say regimen, that's way too formal of a word, but like what your study schedule is like. What does a typical day look like to you before starting your design synthesis exercise? What sorts of recommendations you have, and how do you not overload yourself?
Let's see, let me get my notebook out here. So on my agenda, I have, what word did you use?
Regiment.
On my regiment, wake up at 5 o'clock. Sharp.
Gratitude journal.
Sharp at 5 o'clock. 1 second I wake up, next second I'm done showering. Then in the next 2 minutes, I look at myself in the mirror. And then...
What do you think about when you're looking at yourself in the mirror?
When I look at myself in the mirror, I think about how good of an aerospace engineer I am. And how good of an aerospace engineer I want me to be. That's my regimen. And guess what happens in the next 5 minutes?
Meditation.
No. I go back to sleep again.
Typical. It's 5 a.m. after. Sorry, 5:01.
5:01. Sorry, I was kidding. But then the real day starts. But no, to be honest,
gratitude journal, meditation.
Yeah.
Run,
Yeah.
workout, second workout, breakfast,
Yeah.
fasting, intermittent fasting,
Exactly.
7 a.m. Get to work because grind set.
Yeah. Do a quick aircraft maneuver.
When did you
course.
realize that you're a Sigma male?
The camera caught that I did.
Yeah.
But in a regiment or the schedule.
Yeah. What's your regular working day like?
We start usually at 8:45.
Yeah.
As our TU Delft starts at 8:45,
Mm.
and your last lecture maximum is at 5:45.
Yeah.
If you're doing masters, you're on some crazy addiction like doing
Amphetamine. That's an
8:45 to 8:45 p.m. Like some people go crazy, but we usually have. We depends on our schedule, of course, but that's
Yeah.
the maximum sort of time slot.
Yeah.
And we don't have like every day isn't filled with
Yeah.
stuff. We have like a few lectures. Like each lecture for us is like actually it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's
45 minutes,
Yes.
15-minute break, and another 45 minutes. Exactly.
Yes. And another
At least
break.
if the lecturer sticks to the schedule, which
Yeah.
they don't. Here I have a list of names that I'm calling out right. Go on.
The house fellow.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It says something. And finish democracy. What?
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, some other ones. But now, going back to the thingy, what were you talking about? The lectures?
Yeah, lectures, schedule, how you plan your day, stuff like that.
I would say most of the time that I have breaks in between lectures, or if I end early,
Mm.
I do spend some time just studying, like self-study. Self-study is a big part of aerospace for sure.
Definitely.
Because I know some universities, like especially my minor university, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like usually people have enough time to do everything in the daytime of university. Like they have literally in a lecture, they have time to give a lecture and work out, do homework.
Yeah.
Which I found very odd as an aerospace because our lectures are so fucking concise.
Exactly.
And they're so like
cool.
You miss 1 minute and you're like behind everything.
What is happening
Yes.
here? Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So it's actually if you don't have that mindset of like learning something every lecture, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be definitely hard.
Yeah, that's true. And it's very easy to sort of start lacking in not following the lectures at the pace that they're given at.
Yeah.
And I think especially during the first and early second year when everything was online, it was kind of difficult to motivate yourself to actually stay up to date.
Yeah. And I think we've gotten a bit lazier actually because of COVID.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because a lot of people don't go to lectures anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's even true in the rest of the Netherlands, perhaps.
Yeah, I think
Apart
probably
from
the Western world even
Yeah.
as a whole.
And now they're making it more mandatory for people to actually go because but there's so many resources outside that people. I mean, it's of course not mandatory to go to these lectures.
Yeah.
For us as well, it wasn't. But one thing that is mandatory for us is projects.
Yeah.
Which are taken very seriously.
Yeah.
Because we have, I think, a project every quarter at least.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I think some degrees here at TU Delft, they only have projects like every other semester or every other quarter, but we have a project in each and every quarter throughout the entire bachelor's.
Yeah.
I mean, it does teach you how to collaborate with different types of engineers.
Yeah.
And
Hot question.
Tell me.
Favorite type of project you did and what you did in it?
Ooh, interesting. I liked both the first Wingbox project of the spring of our first year, as well as the test analysis and simulation project during the spring semester of last year.
You mean this Wingbox?
Actually, yes, it is from the same project. This isn't the final outcome. Our design may have been a tiny bit more, slightly different, a tiny bit more refined, but like you can see the general outline. It still holds up. You have the wing here.
It's not bad actually.
Yeah, but I definitely like the first and second year spring semester projects a lot. How about you?
Interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed also the Wingbox one in a way, but I was like, it wasn't my favorite project actually. My favorite one was in the second year, on the second half, we did a project for, I think it was also, it was test and simulation.
Yeah.
Because it was very more specific and we didn't have to write like an 80-page report.
Oh yeah, no.
We had to write a 12-page scientific paper.
It was really short considering your
Yes.
group has like 10 members.
Yeah, and it's for the whole semester.
Yeah.
And on the fact, additionally, you have, it's quality, not quantity.
Oh yeah.
and that was really nice because it was the first time I was like I felt more chill.
Yeah.
Because in the first year it was like the mentality that like, and honestly, it carries a bit to second year in the first half, but
yeah,
it kind of slows down.
It does.
It does slow down.
Yeah.
Like things get tougher for sure.
Yeah.
But sort of the pace, you get more used to it, I would say.
Yeah, probably.
And I would say the project compared to the first year this one was easier.
Oh yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, at least compared to our like skill level at the time.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the one I really liked. And what we did in this one, just for context, is we made a morphing wing. Didn't make a morphing wing actually. We analyzed a morphing wing.
Yeah.
So morphing wing is like you have a wing and it changes shape during flight.
And what we were doing for the test analysis and simulation project was like, I guess, sort of investigating acoustic emission as a way to sort of detect structural deficiencies in like aircraft wings and other aircraft body parts.
I see.
It was quite interesting, like a lot of signal analysis, quite a bit of programming. Some of it was maybe a bit outside the scope of at least what was taught to us, but like I think in the end our group did pretty well, and yeah, I think we had a pretty nice group for that project.
Nice.
Shout out to you guys.
Nice. Was it an NDT?
Yeah.
Nice. Inside joke. No.
Vish or Jad,
yeah.
what is your favorite aircraft?
Ooh, aircraft.
Yeah.
The thing that flies in the sky.
That one.
Okay. And am I limited by any kind of
No,
here?
can be military, non-military, can be old, new, futuristic, but the concept at least has to be out there if it's like futuristic.
Are we going for rotorcraft as well, or?
Yeah, rotorcrafts are allowed. Anything's fine except a helicopter or a blimp. Side note, blimps are cool.
You know, a helicopter is a rotorcraft, right?
Yeah, I mean...
yeah. But, okay. Favorite aircraft? As a commercial standpoint, I really like Airbus A350.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful aircraft.
Have you ever flown on one?
No, but we've seen it in Toulouse when we went to the Airbus park.
I've flown on one a couple of
Really?
times. There's a good chance you're going to end up flying to Helsinki in one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Spinnair operates in between Amsterdam and Helsinki.
It's got like 350 passengers or so.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've been developing like a private aircraft, like not on my spare time, but in my project we're like, it's more or less a private. It's like a business class, like a Cessna Citation type aircraft, which is actually really nice. I think honestly, like I have seen some aircraft where they're really futuristic and they have some like they have like a steering wheel inside of it, and it's really like it looks like a car from inside.
Yeah.
And it's really modern, like the interior system is really well done.
Yeah.
But I don't know the exact name of this one, but it's really cool. Put in the comment section if you know the name.
I like that. Engaging the audience. The algorithm.
But I guess I would say the Cessna Citation for now. That's a nice
cool.
aircraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And what about you, dear third Topias?
Thank you for asking. I'm also a big fan of the A350. It's really quiet once you fly in one. I thought the A380 was cool at the time it came out. Shout out, it's Pride Month. But yeah, commercially it seems like the case wasn't exactly there. At least at the time when it was mass produced in the 2010s.
For A380.
Yeah.
No, it did really well.
I mean, considering that they stopped production after like 200 units sold, it's...
Yeah, true.
Like
in
the profit margin.
The profit was really good.
Yeah, that I know.
Sure, not too many units, but it was most profitable.
Yeah. But I'd say I still prefer the A350 as well. But then I'm also sort of amazed by, Gulfstream, like the private jet provider. It's insane how they have a range of like 8,000 or 9,000 nautical miles in such a tiny aircraft. I'm not sure which exact version of the Gulfstream it is that I'm like talking about, but if you know, mention it in the comments.
Nice.
And I'm gonna have to say fighter jet as well, because I do enjoy watching them warplanes as well. I think F-15 is really cool because it's so fast. Typically not a Russian fan, but the Sukhoi Su-34, I think the fastest Soviet plane from the 1970s, that's also like a really cool design. It has like Mach 3 point something, like Mach 3.5, which is insane. And then obviously F-35, F-22, really impressed by the stealth technology.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. I Yeah, I like the Gulfstream as well. I think I know which ones you mean, or at least the general ones.
Yeah,
They're definitely cool.
But don't you think it's insane that such a small jet has like the range to go from
Yeah.
Europe to the southern tip of South America or some shit
it's
like that?
insane. It's insane, and like, yeah, it's actually crazy. I mean, they're really good for private ownership because
Yeah.
you can go anywhere.
Mm.
The only hard thing about owning, I think, if you have the money to afford the private aircraft, that's fine. But the biggest thing I think is saving it in a hangar and stuff. That's what people usually have to give it up eventually.
Yeah, exactly, because like having a hangar or hangar access at all, like that's gonna cost you a shit ton more as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have a funny thing about this. I have a friend who works in charter business aviation
Cool.
that I'm in Toulouse.
Yeah.
This guy, so basically this company he was working in, what they do as a charter aviation. So charter company is like a company that does business jet travel for passengers.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is like sort of...
Yeah.
okay.
So charter jet business is essentially a business that does...
They do,
requests.
they take VIP guests from A to B,
Mm.
and these are in business jet aircraft like the Gulfstream you're talking about and the Cessna Citation I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But where do these aircraft actually come from? So usually people who own these aircraft, they give it to these companies,
Yeah.
and these companies pay them like returns. So this guy doesn't just waste money by keeping their aircraft in the hangars, but he actually gives it to these
Fun
charter
fact,
airlines.
I've actually written a short article about this
Really?
exact topic quite recently.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a very profitable business model.
On which magazine?
It's the Leonardo Times, the
Nice.
best magazine out there in the world of aviation and aerospace engineering.
Yeah, aircrafts are cool.
Yeah.
Aerospace engineering is cool.
I think next time we should actually discuss our favorite space missions and why
That's
they
true.
are our favorites.
Okay.
Alright, but thanks for your time, like and subscribe, and as per usual, this has been the
The
Co-Pilots.
Subscribe. Do it now.